between two barns Week 9 Picks edition. We'll use our patented PickAWinner board. We'll foretell the ups and downs of the weekend ahead. These are the picks you can confidently never always count on. Charlie, Shark, Barner, and Rizzo. Watch us or flip a coin. One should be more fun.
Hey,
That's a good one.
10/24 is our episode, our ninth week of college football, and we're going to do our pick'ems with our pick-a-winner board. And we got C Money on board with us tonight, so we got an extra picker. We'll run through 6 games, but we're going to start out with Rizzo that won his battle against Charlie and won his free hat. And so we were going to give him a chance to peruse for a minute, decide which hat we were going to ship out to him. He had mentioned a few different options. We got it pulled up here. We got everything from the unstructured legacy, the game hats. We have several different colorways. There's the unstructured patch hat. Rizzo, what did you have your eye on specifically?
You took the white one off, didn't you?
The white one is gone.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna go with the baby blue.
Baby blue. So we'll get that
to
one
Bo.
shot out to. I know, and that's where it came from actually. When they brought back that uniform, when that other company did that, that's perfect. So we'll get that shot out to you, and then
Awesome, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and we want to bring on another guest soon that can see if they want to take on anybody on the picks, want a hat, gift certificate, some kind of fun like that. Even Shark had mentioned people picking which one of you guys is going to get the best record out of the picks, and then picking some prizes based on that. I like that one too.
Love it, man.
Yeah. So we got 6 games here. We got them listed. We're going to go from bottom to top on these, just because when I made this and walked away, I didn't realize I put Auburn at the top. So it was supposed to be at the bottom. So we're going to start out with Sharky. Everybody's got their little tokens over here. We're going to move them, put them where they pick. The whole screen doesn't move. So Shark, whoever he picks is going to go wherever he picks. We'll be able to keep a record of it. This week, we're just for fun. We're going to go me, Barner versus Sharky. And so we'll have a tiebreaker. Since there's 6 games, we'll have a tiebreaker with total points in the Notre Dame Navy game, which I think is, to me, that's the game I'm probably looking forward to most this week. Just purely
What's the winner?
Do what?
What's the winner get? What's Shark going to get?
Okay.
A pat on the back.
No, we'll get him some. We'll do something for sure. All right, so Shark, let's just start it off. We'll get right into it. Notre Dame, Navy. Like I said, to me, this is. I know everybody says game of the week when they like a game, but I'm excited about this game just because of the way Navy plays. It's fun, and I would love to see Notre Dame struggle in this game. What were your thoughts when you read about it?
Well, I mean, I would love to be able to call it the game of the week, but there's too many SEC games of the week here. It's a game I'm the most interested in, like you, believe it or not, other than the Auburn game, of course. But I would love to pick the Service Academy here. I love the guys. I love that they protect our country. Love what they're doing. Love how hard this is for them. But I'm just not sure that Navy can sustain for 4 quarters against Notre Dame. Notre Dame is still believe Notre Dame's a fraud, but I don't believe they're going to lose this week. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Notre Dame to win this one.
Got you on Notre Dame.
Yes, sir.
Hoping you pick Navy. Charlie, where you
I wanted to.
You want to? I know with your heart. I know it's a heart pick for sure. Charlie, what you think?
I think everybody wants to pick Navy. I was surprised by the spread on this being 2 touchdowns, with Notre Dame being favored. Both teams are going to be able to run the ball, but I'm with Shark as well. I think Notre Dame's just going to have too many athletes. If this was Army, I may pick Army, but I think Notre Dame's going to pull it out.
Yeah, good point.
Riz?
Oh man, I don't want to follow in your guys' lead, but man, I just don't think that. I just don't. Notre Dame's going to win this one, man. I don't think it'll be by 2 touchdowns, but I think they're going to win this one. I'd like to see him lose, but maybe next week.
All right, C Money, I'll let you go next. What are you thinking on that one? Who would you pick straight up?
I'm going to take Notre Dame because even with Riley Leonard's slow start, I don't think the Navy pass rush will be able to get past the O-line. So
Coming in with some knowledge, young man.
Yeah. Yeah, the quarterback should be at Auburn right now.
Right, yeah. I want Navy to win this so bad. I don't want this to be the end of their story, especially I want them to get to the point where we got the head-to-head and then the follow-up head-to-head with Army. It worries me for the reason that they give up as much as they get. Their defense gives up literally almost the exact same amount on the other side of the field. But there's got to be some kind of outlier, right? Somebody's got to do something. So I'm going to put it on Navy, and I'm actually and since I'm doing that, since I actually have to put my name on it, then we're going to send out. So between Shark, if Shark wins, which it might be this game, yeah, we'll get you another hat made. Get you a fresh, brand new, and from scratch. Your color choice. How about that?
Ooh,
We talked about
Man.
gray.
Yeah, because we
Yeah,
talked
you
about a
wanna-
color. Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
Okay.
I'll take
so-
that.
A custom hat.
Yeah.
I have a couple because of my head size, but I wanted a colored custom one. Yeah.
My
I'm going to
head
take
size.
Navy to mix it up and just so that I don't know. I don't want to be right about that one about Notre Dame, so I'm gonna steer clear of that one.
I almost went with you on that one, Burn. I mean, just
Yeah.
seriously, I would really love to see Navy win that football game.
If it was
Oh, I
if we
would
were
love to
picking
see
with
him.
the spreads, yeah, it would be an easy
Oh yeah.
one. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And them losing does not mess up Army Navy playing twice because
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know. I just don't want there to be a
it's not a conference game. So
yeah.
I'd like to
I
see
just-
one of them make the playoffs. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, reading about them, they talk about how patient they are. I mean, if they can find that sweet spot and stay patient as they are, they don't get in a panic. Their defense is opportunistic and gets a couple of interceptions here and there. They don't take big risks either way.
Well
they allow
coached.
160 yards rushing a game.
I know. Hey. Everybody's played up. Everybody's played down. So I'm gonna tweet it out. And I'm gonna be on that one. Shark. If you go to the Illinois Illini and the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, I've got no faith that Illinois can stop Oregon on this one. It's what 21, 22 point dogs
21.
right now. And Illinois is one of those teams I kind of
Yeah.
like Iowa State, but I really don't think they can touch Oregon at Oregon. That has turned out to be the loudest. I mean, it's louder than Jordan Hare. It's hard to play there. So
I don't know about that.
It really
That's what they're
is.
saying. They're saying
Now it really is now. I mean, I've talked to some friends. I lived in Washington. I talked to some friends. They're like, you wouldn't believe it. They're crazy up there now. I don't know if Nike's buying the guys or what, but
Nike bought some Bose speakers, put in there.
Yeah,
How
no
about
kidding.
That's all
Sound
the
like
thing
that
now.
one.
There's yep.
But it's loud there, and it really is as loud as Jordan here on a rocking night, and they're rocking. So I'm still not sold on the quarterback from Oregon, but he showed me a little something against Ohio State, and so I just don't think that Illinois can go in there and tag them. So I'm going with Oregon. I'm going with the Ducks. Quack quack.
Charlie B.
What's crazy about Oregon being so loud is what's the capacity? Like 66.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah.
It's like less than 70,000. So
Yeah, they may be piping in music or sound.
I don't have. I think this is probably the easiest game of the week to pick.
Yeah.
Being at Oregon, Illinois. If you look at their schedule, I mean, I know they beat Michigan last week, but Michigan's having a down year. They beat Nebraska. Nebraska's not what people thought they were when they beat Colorado, and then they beat Purdue, which we know what Purdue is. So I'm taking Oregon, and you're putting it on Illinois. So
Oh,
I was gonna say
I did both of them.
He really doesn't want to make me a hat, I guess.
Well, I was looking at how these things are too big. I need to move these things down. And I was not paying attention to what I was doing. Okay.
you got big heads.
Oh, no. Sorry about that.
custom hats.
Yeah. Riz, you got anything to add to any of the
Yeah, I just don't think that. I don't think you're going in Autzen at night and winning that game, man. I just don't. So I'm gonna go with Oregon, man. I just don't think there's a chance. To be honest with you, I'm with Charlie. I think this is the easiest game to pick out of all of them.
Yeah, I hate having easy games. It's still fun games to watch. Like that game's going to
But
be the
I mean, with the slate of college football this year, man, you never know. Like it
yeah.
just takes one injury, it takes a couple turnovers, as Auburn fans know very well. Like, but I'm going with Oregon.
Gotcha. See money.
I'm gonna go with Oregon. Dylan Gabriel's having a great year, throwing to Evan Stewart and Terrence Ferguson. So I don't think it'll be a 21-point game, but I'm gonna take Oregon.
If you had to pick a score, what would you say the score would be?
34-27.
I like it. That'd be a fun game to watch.
Like
Like
it.
you said.
Kid has a future.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I had to go again with your heart. I want to pick Illinois. I'm pulling for them, but if I have to,
You're picking Illinois.
No, I said I would like to. I'd like
Oh,
to.
I'm
No,
sorry.
Oh, I thought he said he was picking with his
Yeah, that's what
heart.
I.
And
no,
No.
no, I'm
I
out
thought
of.
you.
I'm out of room. I'm having technical difficulties tonight, and now I'm out of room. So no, I'm on the Oregon side of the app right there.
Okay. So you are picking Oregon.
Yes, I just can't.
Okay.
Yeah, but pulling for Illinois. So Texas, Vandy, Sharp.
Okay, this is the last one where I'm going first. I think y'all are stealing my stuff. Now, Texas looked really, really bad versus Georgia, didn't they?
Yeah,
It looked
I-
pretty bad.
That kind of surprised me, and I'm kind of wondering if they're going to be mad or if Vanderbilt's going to be able to. Because once again, I still believe in the Pavia effect. I believe that if you haven't seen him play in person, you don't realize what he is. You
yeah,
can see him on film, but until you see him, but Texas has a until last week has a great. I don't know. Yeah, asking you a quick question. We all said that we didn't know what Texas had until he played last week. I think that we were in agreement on that, right?
yeah.
And if we're judging by that, then Texas isn't a very good football team because Georgia made them look bad. It wasn't even as close as the final score was anywhere near it. Seems like they almost got a quarterback controversy, and I really, really want to pick Vanderbilt on this one because they're at home. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Texas. Dadgummit. I want the hat. I'm gonna pick Texas.
Hey, I hear you.
If it wasn't for the hat, if it wasn't for the hat, two of my picks would already be different.
Oh,
I'm trying to get serious with it now, but I believe Texas takes out Vanderbilt, and I hate it, but they will.
He wants that hat, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to C Money next on this one because he had some insight I heard earlier.
I'm gonna take Vandy because Diego Pavia, he's playing out of his mind. I think Texas is gonna not think too much on this. They're gonna be like, "Oh, we have an easy bounce back game," but I'm gonna take Vanderbilt.
I hear you, brother.
It's not a bad thought process at all.
Charlie,
Mm-mm.
I'm on Texas. I just think if you look at Vandy's schedule outside of the Bama game, it hasn't been. I mean, they beat Ball State by 10 points last week.
Struggled.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they played in the competition. I just don't think they can play up to the competition this week. I think Texas responds. Everybody acts like they lost to Georgia and the world ended for them. You know, the rumors of quitting on his team came out, like all that. So, I mean, I saw that when you texted. I saw it came out the day before. I mean, it's just when they lost to Georgia, it's not like they lost to Vanderbilt. You know. But no, I got Texas, but they're not going to cover the 18 points, which I thought was a large spread. But
It is a big. I think if they come out angry, that 18 points isn't going to be too hard. I believe they can. They're a lot better
Yeah.
against mobile quarterbacks than they are against static quarterbacks.
yeah, and they're not going to play Georgia's defense this week. So
Yeah. And they're going to be mad. I just think they're just going to come in and be mad.
yep.
Riz, any different?
No, I agree with it's been said, man. They're gonna be pissed off. They have something to prove now. I I don't know that they're the best team in the nation, but they're close to it. And you know, I think they got something to prove, and probably be a home game for them at Vandy Stadium.
I don't know, man. I mean, Vandy, if they can't have a home field advantage on this game, they can't have one ever. Because I mean, their fans
They
should have bought
usually,
into this a few games ago and filled this one.
yeah, but
They
they
could have
just,
already sold their tickets.
yeah, like that's.
Texas is traveling really well to
Yeah,
Vanderbilt, from what I understand.
yeah, Texas is they'll have the home field advantage in that one, man. Most teams do. And that's I don't know if have y'all been to that stadium?
It's like a high school football stadium. I've been there.
Dude, and your seat numbers, like if you have like a 32-inch waist, buddy, you're squeezing in tight. So
Yep.
if you're next to a big one, you better watch out.
I really thought I was at the wrong stadium. I really felt like I was at not even a Hoover, like not even a 6A stadium or 7A stadium. I thought it was like a 5A high school when I
I'm gonna
went
tell
there.
you, man, like one time when Auburn plays up there, I want to go to that Marriott and get a room on with the facing the field. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Just sit there and
Yeah,
watch the game from up
Yeah,
high and just have your own food and drinks in there and just chill out and watch the game. I think that'd be a good time.
that would be cool.
binoculars would be cool.
You really don't need the binoculars, man. It's just
Yeah,
like
it's
you're
pretty
right
close.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right on top of it.
I hope C-Money's right. I hope that Vandy wins. I'm going to take Texas just to kind of block Shark at this point. I want Vandy to win. Like, again, if we were picking the spreads, maybe we need to throw in spreads on the next one.
It would make it a lot harder.
Yeah.
Yes.
And since we're kind of getting used to the way this little thing's working, then maybe we should. But I don't think that they'll cover that. I don't think they'll cover it. I think anybody has trouble with Pavia. Everybody does. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, he's a magician. And Jerry Kill can scheme for anything. I can't figure it out, man. But I don't think they'll cover, but I got to go with Texas on that one.
Yeah, I don't know if you can scheme up for that large of an angry football team who still believes they deserve to be in the playoffs.
I mean,
Yeah, those guys gonna come out, man. But you never know, man. They may fall flat on their face too.
or be so angry you're over pursuing. Over
Yeah.
pursuit is the
Exactly.
nightmare for that. I mean,
Yeah, you get murdered, Poppy will kill you for that.
Yeah.
You go all in, and he's out over there. Yeah.
Yeah. You start bringing those safeties in, and it's over.
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
offense is going to score with them as much as they need to.
Yeah.
I agree with you, man.
The most relevant thing that's been said was Strother saying this isn't the Georgia defense. I think that's the hitching point. Vanderbilt can't do what Georgia did.
No.
All right. So, Shark, you don't want to go first. We can swap it up. I'll go first
Yeah.
on Missouri, Alabama.
Okay.
Will they give Brady Cook whatever he got when he went to the hospital and came back to the game before this game?
Yeah. What was that anyway?
So
There was a
real quick before you do this, Barner, if it's okay, because I mentioned this to you the other day, Sharky, man. Do you think that a player that leaves a game and has to go to a hospital should be allowed to come back into a game?
no, I really don't. Not unless they can take a drug test, because there's no way that kid's ankle. Because if you go back and watch that play, the play before he comes out, that ankle was. I mean, it was cranked.
Yeah.
I don't think you come back unless they filled that something with something that he probably couldn't pass a drug test with.
That's yeah. And I mean, look, he's probably out this week because of it. He probably tore something,
Yeah, it wasn't baby aspirin and a rub.
Yeah.
Some Ben Gay.
Yeah, it was some good. It was a good. We'll say that.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it must have been everybody says he comes back and starts doing like jumping jacks on the sideline on a busted ankle. That's
And he's
crazy.
happy. And the stupid part is, why would you? If you were him, why would you let that decision be made? It reminds me of the movie Varsity Blues, because
Varsity Blues.
he's going to be an NFL quarterback. Why would you take that risk
Shoot him up.
to beat Auburn, or to beat I mean, really, to be a 2-5 team? And I just don't get it. I guess he's trying to save it for the playoffs, but I don't. Is he? We won't know till tomorrow if he's actually going to play this week, do we?
No,
No.
I haven't seen.
They
He
don't
may
have to
be a
release.
game time. Yeah, he may be a game time decision.
Well, they have to release the reports tomorrow. What'd you say, brother?
He's listed as doubtful as of today. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how if he's even walking. If it was me, I'd probably lost that foot.
I mean, what were you risking there? Do you really think that you were risking it for a playoff shot, a national championships? That's
Why else would he do it? I mean, it's
Yeah.
5. You're paying 2 and 5. You're paying Auburn.
what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like you said, it seems like a lot of risk to just.
It
go
does.
and-
And if that had been a head injury, do you think they would let him back in? If you're even at least a bit woozy,
There
but
you
yet,
go. And then he wouldn't even leave the stadium. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he left and went to a hospital and then came back and jumps in the game. Like, I just don't think, and I'm not making an excuse for Auburn. That's not being like, I think league wide, like, I mean, I think you have to say something about that.
it's not for NFL. Sure, it's a business. Is what you're doing. That's the reason the Miami can keep sending their quarterback out there to get cranked every play. But that's the man's decision. But for these kids playing, even though they're getting paid, that's just a bad choice and bad precedent.
Yes.
on
Anyways,
the
I
Alabama,
didn't mean to break your pickup, man.
No. I'm pulling that up while we go on. I'm gonna read about that for a second, see if there's actually a rule somewhere. On this one, I'm taking Missouri. Sorry, that's just it. I cannot. I mean, even if it's not Brady playing, they're still a decent quarterback, and I think Alabama is absolutely falling apart. I think that before long they're going to hate each other in the locker room because they're so consumed with this, with the rat poison that Saban always fought. So I hope they lose, and I'm picking them to lose because I hate them. But I mean, even their backup quarterback was decent. He was decent enough to play against the team that Alabama's been putting on the field lately. I don't have any faith in their defense. So, yeah, I'm going to pick Missouri on that one. We'll let you go last on this one, Short. Charlie, what did you think of that?
I think Nate Noel being out for Missouri is going to hurt them. I think Brady Cook being doubtful and potentially not playing is going to hurt them. And I think it being in Bryant-Denny Stadium will help Alabama. So I'm taking Alabama.
Rizzle?
Man, I want Bama to lose so bad, especially at home. Yeah, especially at home. There's going to be some key pieces missing out of Missouri, and I got to pick Bama here, man. I think it'll be close, but I think they'll pull it out. I want them to lose.
D-Money, good news, bad news?
I would really love to take Missouri, but I mean, that backup quarterback probably going to end up playing. He doesn't have the experience to play at Alabama. Those fans are going to show up. I don't think that it will be a 17-point game, but that backup quarterback was, I'm not going to say he was doing bad, but
He was Peyton Thorne-esque.
yeah.
That's a good point.
He was suspect.
He was on and off.
Well, they changed the whole game plan. Like the whole offense changed.
Had to.
Yeah.
He didn't understand half of it.
I mean, they didn't involve Luther Burden as much as they should have.
They didn't fire the ball down the field to Burton at all.
No. And still won.
Playing Auburn.
That's what we do.
Me.
That's what we do. And they didn't win. We lost.
We had the recovery show.
It's what we do.
Shark.
Everything that C Money said and Struther said is pretty much what I had written down to say. I will throw this out here. I think your Barner's completely right that this team is going to end up hating each other. and I'm not getting ahead of myself here. I just don't think it's this week because Mizzou, outside of a pretty interesting defensive line, doesn't present a good matchup against Alabama. So I actually think they could actually cover the spread, believe it or not. But I think it's next week that this team starts to hate themselves. When they go to LSU or when they play LSU, that's when there's going to be some serious infight. When they take that third loss at LSU, but it's not going to be this week. I really do have Alabama over Mizzou, and I think they cover. I think the Mizzou is just down enough. We saw how bad they quit at A&M when they got challenged a little bit. Auburn never really challenged them. And we all saw those people. I mean, I think we had a lengthy conversation on air about how that team just fell apart after a couple of penalties and just got behind by 2 touchdowns, and they were hanging their heads on the sidelines looking pitiful.
Yeah.
That taught me a lot about this football team. And honestly, the way they played against Auburn, even with Brady Cook in there, didn't give me any confidence that they were moving forward. So I hate to say it because Missouri was one of my preseason picks, but
Yeah, you were high on them.
I was
You were
high on
saying the
them.
QB and receiver core was top in the nation.
I still think they should have been, but Auburn should have been a lot of things too. But yeah, I'm gonna stick. I can't believe I'm picking Houndstooth here, but I'm gonna pull a Charlie here and go with Alabama.
This is
Dude,
gonna be
send them a couple Vicodins over there and tell them to put Cook in.
yeah, whatever it is they
I'm
got.
thinking more than that. I need it, whatever it was. That had to be methamphetamines. That had to be something.
Yeah, I know. There's certain street drugs that'll get somebody to do superhuman things. I mean,
Yeah.
and you're right there on it.
And even when he came back, he still only completed half his passes to get there. Auburn just gave him some.
And I'm pretty sure that it's readily available in rural Missouri.
And several backwoods in Alabama.
He went to a clinic, quote unquote.
Just happened to be on 4th Street in South Missouri and next to a Dollar General, yeah.
LSU, Texas A&M.
This is the only game I don't have written down, man. I'm picking this one off cuff.
Yeah, I went back and forth on this one, man, because LSU, man, I just like the way they started, like we talked about, the first half of the first game, it looked like they were world beaters, and then they fell off, and then they slowly kind of pulled it all back together, played the right teams at the right times, and then gotten it back together. And then Texas A&M doing some of the things they've done is just crazy at the same time. I know it's at Texas A&M, and that's my problem. If this was at LSU, I wouldn't even think about it. And it just makes me pause for just a minute, just because of being at Texas A&M. And it's not even the 12th man as much as just
the cult.
Yeah, I know they got superpowers. Yeah, I'm going to take LSU. I mean, it's hard year in, year out. It's hard to pick against LSU on many things just because they show up. I mean, even on down years, you can't just count them out. If you go up against them, they can show up at any time. Their defense is just. I mean, I'm going with them. Sorry. Charlie, what you got?
This game is strength for strength, or not strength for. I guess it's offensive. LSU's 6th in passing, A&M's 9th in rushing. I went back and forth on this game as well, but I think LSU's just clicking. I think Nussmeier's just figuring it all out. The offense is clicking. Very close game. I think this could be a classic, an instant classic.
Dude, like that 7 overtime one that they had.
Yeah.
You'll be able to watch it Sunday on the SEC Network if you feel like watching it again.
If you miss it.
Riz, what are you thinking on that one?
Man, I'm telling you, I still don't have anything written down.
Yeah.
Man, I think LSU found something against Ole Miss. And I got to be honest with you. Texas A&M's going with the gimmick blackout. Man, I'm going LSU, dude. Go Tigers! I think they're gonna pull it out, man. I really do. They're clicking at the right time.
This is going to be a uniform game. A&M's got the all blacks. LSU's got the all whites.
All
Oh,
whites,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, they're nice.
At nighttime.
And I agree
Money.
with you. If
What?
that game was in LSU, there's no way that, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I know people want to talk about Jordan Hare hard to play in there and stuff. LSU though, man. At nighttime at LSU.
Nighttime LSU is just.
I have some horror stories from there. I promise.
I mean, one of the coolest things they do is it's officially nighttime at Death Valley. That is one of the coolest things. And to me, like your team is going to get up right then if they were down. It's crazy.
It's not that tough. Harson won in LSU.
No, you have a point.
Yeah, he made sure to tweet about it too.
I know he did.
On a weekly basis.
Well, he has a lot of free time since he's just doing Mr. Potato Head things.
Yeah. C Money, what you got?
I'm gonna take A&M. I mean, Kyron Lacey and Nussmeier have been clicking, but I don't know if they can keep up with A&M's rushing game. I don't. If Texas A&M shies away from the run, if they get impatient and try to throw the ball, which has not been successful all year, I think LSU easily wins. But A&M's rushing game is too good. So.
Dang.
I like it, C Money.
Yeah, kid came prepared. He's not even.
Oh, but he wasn't prepared. Like this was 10 minutes beforehand. He wanted to do So honestly, just.
I think he's still what I'm gonna say.
Got it all up there for real. That's crazy. Now you got to come up with something else. What are you gonna say now?
I mean, I'm gonna go. I think he's right, but I just think that they're gonna make LSU can make this game about Connor Wegman. And if they can do that, then they're gonna win this football game. There's a reason that LSU is favored by 3 instead of 3-point underdogs. When normally you get 2.5 points for the home team here. There's a reason LSU's favored, and I think that's it. I think LSU can take away A&M's rushing game. That, as the young man just said, if they can't, then I'm wrong on this pick and I'm going to lose it. But I believe LSU can. I believe Nussmeier is going to play. I think something happened in the Ole Miss game. I think Struthers did that too. Something clicked there, and that was crazy to watch. And they're ready to go. Yep. And I'm just not sold on A&M's defense. I'm not sure. Like I said, we're basing all this on how they played Missouri, right?
Yeah.
And we played Missouri close. So I'm going LSU all the way on this one. And that's purely by gut.
Are you going LSU?
I'm going LSU. Yeah.
What's A&M's toughest game that they've played so far besides Missouri?
Well, was it Notre Dame?
Well, I mean, they lost to Notre Dame, but
they played Arkansas. I'm just listing up here.
Okay.
South Carolina.
Nobody's when they were weak.
Right.
That was before they got it clicking.
Yeah.
Which everybody has it clicking except for Auburn and Kentucky. Even Florida's clicking now.
Auburn's clicking. Backwards.
Yeah.
Clicking the TV off.
And the transfer enter button.
Welcome to the Barner podcast. What's the Barner mean again, guys?
Wait a minute. Buddy, you had me almost crying 2 weeks ago about how bad Auburn was. I was ready to pick them, and you just bashed them. I was like,
it was bad.
Man.
And I was right.
It turned out to be all true.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, I know. But still.
The truth hurts.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to go first on this one? This is the spread's 2.5. It's a straight pick even with the. Who wants to go first? Somebody raise.
I'll go.
All right, go.
All right, man. I've said it for the past 2 podcasts. I'm not picking Auburn until they can prove something, and I don't know why. They're gonna prove something this week. They got something to prove, man. They're gonna figure it out. Like, I think y'all probably saw there was some stats out there that got dropped today, and there's only 7 teams with that average 7 yards of play.
Both sides of the ball.
and only give up what 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And if you look at the teams that they're in there with, man, they're top 10, top 12 teams.
Yeah, I'll give you the stat.
And
There's 27 FBS offenses averaging at least 6.5 yards a play. There's 29 FBS defenses that are allowing less than 5 yards to play. And the 7 were Army, Auburn, Indiana, Penn State, Ohio State, Texas, and Ole Miss.
that's a pretty good company to be in. Just the record doesn't show it.
Yep.
But I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm a Barnhart. I said I wasn't gonna pick him, but dude, I just have a feeling we're gonna go in there at night and just you know what? If we did that, like the emotional, like the team would just, you know what I'm saying? Just
Oh,
like
they like the healing.
yes, the healing, the coming together, like it would just really set us up to ruin some teams at the end of the season. So all that to say, War Damn Eagle, man, going Auburn.
Word and I want to see money.
I really want to pick Auburn, but I think it's going to be the battle of the mid. Kentucky. I mean,
Less than mid.
I really think that we can, if we ran the ball like we should be, like we do it until we get in the red zone, and then we just try to throw back shoulder fades for 4 downs and then 3 downs, and then have to settle for a field goal, and then we miss. So
Missed that one.
Kid almost makes me throw my hat.
Is he stealing your stuff again?
No, but that just reminded me is PTSD.
I think it
So
could go either way, though. If Peyton Thorne can figure out this RPO offense and figure out how to make the right read sometimes, then
He's due.
I think they will win. But
They're-
I'm gonna take Kentucky.
all right, Kentucky.
Boo. Dude, they're all due, man. All those kids are due.
Yeah.
They're due, and the defense has just been it's tough, man.
Who wants to go next? It's like a funeral. It's like who wants to say a few words?
I mean, I'm gonna pick Auburn every week. I'm not gonna pick against them because the one time that I pick against them is gonna be when they win, and I'm gonna feel like poop.
Yeah.
So I mean, we got McPherson back this week inside the 35 or whatever they said.
Yeah.
That can come in handy. But I mean, Kentucky getting run off the field by Florida last week gives me a little bit of hope.
It's all a mindset, man.
I mean, I think our team has the mindset every week. It's just execution. Like,
Yeah.
I probably spent less time this week reading quotes about Auburn than I have all year because it's the same stuff every week.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to read it this week. So,
Well, when nothing
still-
changes for 7 weeks,
Oh,
all you can do is write the same thing again. It's like copy and paste.
yeah. But no, I'm gonna pick them until we're playing basketball.
Dude, and then you have to pick them.
Yeah.
I'll be right.
Yeah. All right, you or me, Shark. What do you want?
Coin flip, man. It doesn't matter to me.
Take a moment of silence for Shark.
Yeah. Well, there was one. So there was another stat this week. I thought you were going to read it, and then I was going to throw my hat. The team that leads the nation in passes of 40 yards or more is Auburn. So
All these stats are great, but it's 2 and 5.
Yeah, I know. Well, here's my point there. Yes, I know that. Reality.
You're there. You remember, huh?
When we hit the guys in the long runs, it was a broken play last week, but it worked, and we got the long pass, and you get some spirit and you get a little momentum there. If Peyton could just hit there's 2 things. If he could hit the short routes that he keeps, I know the receivers should catch it, but we do have freshmen and some guys that they need a little work, but he needs to get that one right in the basket. If the guy's wide open, hit him with it. And if he will call his number less times than 11 times a game,
that's the stat.
Just stop doing that.
That's the stat.
I'm picking Auburn, but I can't put an asterisk by it, but it's got to be with less than 11 rushes by Peyton Thorne. But I mean,
I agree 100%, man.
But I mean, at some point, there seems to be a thing. I mean, there has to be a thing where if you're learning, if it's RPO and you're supposed to be learning and getting better, like Hugh says, everything's coming together, then you got to learn that those, I mean, half of those, like you said last week, 14 yards was a chunk, and the rest of them added up to an average of like half a yard.
Less than. It was like 0.2 per 2 of a yard, yeah.
So, yeah, he's got to keep that. He's got to hand it off, and he can't, I mean, not keep that. Please don't keep it. That's not what I'm going to say. He's got to hand it off. He's got to get it out of his hands. That thing where he reads and rolls right into the biggest guy he can find is killing us. But I'm taking him, and I'm just – and if he was saying this week we're going to start Hank, I would take him, no doubt. That's bad, but I really would.
I want to tell you the other thing that really chaps my ass is him rolling to the left and throwing to the right.
Yeah, long, yeah.
Pretending he's a mobile quarterback, yeah.
Yeah, why are you rolling to the left and throwing to the right?
Cannot throw on the run to save his life.
No.
Dude. Sorry, C-Money. I had to just get that out.
Well, now it's Shark.
Yeah, well, Shark said he wouldn't pick and I've said this since before the Oklahoma game, I wouldn't pick an Auburn again until as long as Peyton Thorne was starting. And I've made a lot of choices this year that were wrong, personally and professionally. And so I'm gonna let me ask you a question. When I said the names South Carolina and Florida, do y'all think, vicious teams?
I kind of split 50-50 on that one, though. I would say South Carolina right now, I would be fearful.
I mean, they could probably both.
Okay, now I'm talking about South Carolina, September 7th.
No,
they smoked Kentucky. They made Kentucky it was 31-6 in that game. And then everybody kind of went high on Kentucky because they held Georgia. Because Kentucky has a legitimate defense. They probably shouldn't have won the Ole Miss game. It was one of the greatest joys of the season behind Vanderbilt beating Alabama for them to beat Ole Miss. I love watching Lane Kiffin get upset. But, Kentucky's the only team in the SEC that hasn't broken 20 points against an SEC team or against against a real team. I don't think anybody realizes that their offense is atrocious. Their offense makes our offense look like a juggernaut. And so I know it's Saturday night in Kentucky, and I'm fixing to say the most depressing thing an Auburn fan has ever said in his life. I think there's a great... Who does Kentucky play next week? I'll tell you if you don't know.
Bama?
No, they go play at Tennessee next week.
And that's don't say what you're about to say.
I'm saying it because I think it's true. I think there will be some point where this defense looks at Auburn and looks past them, thinking about Tennessee, because that is a rivalry game for them.
That's what I was afraid of.
And that's depressing as can be, but I think eventually somebody has to catch a ball or two. Eventually, I mean, if it's just Hunter getting mad, or even if it's just Peyton playing one of those games where he throws for 60 yards and he runs for 3 touchdowns, something's bound to happen this week for just the sanity of this football program. I'm worried about Hugh Freeze. I hope somebody's checking in on him. So I'm going to go against everything that I believe in and pick Auburn to win this football game.
You're just trying to get that hat.
No, I mean, because we've already picked enough differently. I know I'm going to win the hat.
Yeah.
The hat's one. Now watch me say that and just miss every one of them. I've had a career at this and I've missed every one of them. But no, I really think Auburn beats Kentucky. I think Auburn beats Kentucky, and it gives them enough confidence that they compete in the rest of the games this year.
That's what I'm hoping for, man.
I think it's the most dangerous thing possible.
Where do you specifically see that confidence coming in? Do you think that's a quarterback confidence?
No, I absolutely think it's these young guys are getting fired up. I think they're ready to go. But I don't think there's anything that you can do for Peyton Thorne at this point. I think he's a lost cause. I do see Hunter seeing those dollar signs. I do see, a couple of those guys going, like Asante, going, hey, if I want to make it to the next level, I got to do this regardless of if the rest of the team's coming with me. And so just that simple fact, and the fact that Kentucky has, can you name a Kentucky offensive player who's worth naming?
Jared Lorenzen?
No, he's not worth naming.
Come on, man. The Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Randall.
There you go. Randall Cobb.
They're starting. I'm talking about legitimate right now. They don't have a player.
Right. No.
I
The
mean,
only one I know is the quarterback, Vander Griffin.
and he's not any good. He was third string at Georgia. Georgia bounced him. That's the reason he went.
I don't know. I mean, every time I've seen him play, it's like he's Brett Favre with no accuracy. He just throws as hard as he can.
I mean, Georgia went and got him, and I covered when that happened, and they were high on him. And then by the next season, or they were like, we don't want anything to do with this kid. They rescinded him. He didn't leave for the portal voluntarily. They didn't like his attitude, his ability, anything. So I mean, I don't see him coming. Like usually we turn these guys into Joe Montana. I know that, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think we got more. It's a heck of a defense, but we've got a heck of a defense too, as those stats said earlier. We really, really do.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is one of those games that they're going to get tired. What can Kentucky do to tire out that Auburn defense? That's how we've lost every game, really, other than giving them away. What can Kentucky do to wear out Auburn's defense? Name it.
What's your score prediction?
Offensive 3-and-out drives.
I mean, they're going to be doing the same thing. They're going to be doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
in this game, both defenses are either going to be gassed or there's going to be a big victory. You said score, Struther?
Yeah.
I honestly think this is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 24 to 14, somewhere like that. Maybe even
24-14.
Maybe even 24-10, 24-14, 24. This is the week, I think, like I said. And I think, and another reason I think this is because that's the worst thing that can happen to the Auburn football program as a whole. Because they lose this game, and I honestly think they switch over to Hank Brown. So winning it's probably going to screw us on that.
There was another stat out there I saw that said that like this is our 8th time or something like that playing in Kentucky, and we're like 8-0 or 9-0, 8th time playing a team. Like these people were searching for stats. Like,
yeah.
But it was just like it's our 8th time playing in Kentucky, and it's like we're undefeated and playing teams the 8th time at their place or something like that. I was just like, wow. Well, we'll ruin that stat too, I'm sure.
And there's another crazy one too, is that we beat them 18 out of the last 19 times, and we've never lost to them when they were ranked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's just, not that they're ranked right now because we are the bottom. Thank God for Mississippi State. It's Mississippi State, then us, then working from bottom top, then Kentucky. I think people forget that just because of the Ole Miss win. But, I mean, Vanderbilt walked them. Florida just absolutely showed how to whip them last week. South Carolina showed how to whip. What South Carolina and Florida did to them, we can do.
Yeah.
We have the players to do it with. So, that's it for me. I'm not just doing that because I'm a homer. If I was a betting man, I would bet on Auburn this week.
I told you guys I wasn't picking Auburn again this year until they showed me something. But something about this game
doesn't sit right.
Things around.
Yeah, it just doesn't sit right.
Those kids are tired of losing, man.
That's the way I felt about the Missouri game, though, going into it. That's why I felt so strongly about that.
Missouri is so much better of a ball club than Kentucky.
Yeah, but I really just thought that was going to be the one where we clicked.
But I could see, this being the one that kind of, it's not going to turn, let's face it, the season's not going to turn around. But this is the one where you start getting that dangerous thing called hope for an Auburn fan.
Oh.
Or you start going, hey, we can take out ULM. We can take out, Vanderbilt and deal with Pavia. We're prepared for that. Maybe we can beat Alabama. Maybe we can beat A&M. That's that dangerous hope thing. So,
we can beat him.
I had it every week.
Yep. All right. So just in case it came down to the, what were you going to say? Were you say something else? Sure.
I was just going to say, I don't think they take A&M, but I think this Hugh Freeze is going to beat Alabama. So I still think that'll be a game that Auburn is in if they don't win.
I'll be right back.
He go.
DoorDash is here.
Yeah. All right. So if we, I didn't even look at it, see if there's a tie, but if we came down to a tie, then we would pick the points in the Notre Dame versus Navy game. And would you call it a high scoring affair or not? I think it is. I don't think Like you said, Navy's not going to be able to stop Notre Dame. I think they're both going to go tit for tat on it. If I had to pick a score, and I did choose Navy to win it, I think carrying the math. If I say 28-21, then we end up at 49 points. And I think keeping it on the ground the way Navy does, if I'm going with the way I'm saying that they're going to win it, then they're going to run the clock enough that it's going to be not super high scoring, but
Ball
it's going to be last possession wins the game.
You also talk about Bama.
Now we're doing our picks. The points on the Notre Dame Navy
the
game.
points. Oh, gotcha.
Shark points. You doing math?
Yeah, I'm thinking about this one. I'm gonna go bigger than you. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say they cover. I'm gonna go somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 to 20. I'm gonna say 35 to 20.
55.
And that puts it at 55. I know that I really didn't want to go there, so I almost want to say 35 to 24. How about that? 35-24 would make me more comfortable.
59.
I went the wrong way. Make that 17.
17 total points, dude. I'm so confused.
No, just their score. 30. What? Yeah.
35 and 17.
35-17 is right there.
52.
That's where I want to be at. 35-17.
What's the over under?
53, 52 and a half.
Gotcha.
I didn't even know that.
Notre Dame's a 12.5 favorite. So, I'm just doing that math. I really think that this line is going to be accurate at the end of the day.
I can't believe that Notre Dame's still in the playoff competition or conversation after that loss to Northern Illinois.
Dude, they are the most overrated team in the history of college football.
Every year.
Just because it's Notre Dame and they don't have a conference.
Yeah, I know. Never seen anybody live on black and white movies for their entire life.
Yeah.
And NBC football contracts.
And like I said, that's the one thing that gives me pause. That's the one thing I think Barner will take me out on because I'm so. If I was in straight heart, Notre Dame are frauds, and I think Navy can beat them. Notre Dame sure does have some talent, and I think Riley, as C Money mentioned, I think he's there. I think every week he's gotten better, and he's starting to look stronger and stronger. And I think it's too much for Navy. They'll have to at some point. I think they'll have to get in a position where they can't just run the football, and that's going to be death for Navy.
So we differed on that one and the Missouri game. That's where we differed.
Is that the only two we took?
Sure enough.
Sure enough. So you picked Mizzou, I picked Alabama, and then you picked Navy, I picked Notre Dame.
Yep.
And the rest were on them. So it may come down to the points because no, I think you'll lose it. I don't know. It may. It really may. Because that's not how I was going to pick, to be honest with you. I changed 3 of my picks just
at the last second.
Well, like literally when we're talking about just the hat thing, and I was like, oh, I'm competing with you, and I was like, okay, I'll switch. I switched 3 of my picks, to be honest with you. Not making excuses, I'm going with it, but I changed 3.
Mm-hmm.
I was really thinking
the excuses started.
No, since the board's gone, I was really thinking A&M had better. I was really going to pick A&M until I heard all y'all talk, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go with the spread there, and
Dude, for a second, I thought Charlie's curtains back there was like a shower curtain.
And I was seriously considering Navy and Vanderbilt, to be honest with you.
The thing is, I look at Navy. I looked at their schedule. Like, I know that they're 6-0 or whatever, but
played
their schedule is nobody.
They're soft.
Yeah. They haven't been in a tough, against a real team, tough fourth quarter game or anything like that. So.
Yeah.
but they're tough dudes in general. So that's kind of where I'm also at.
I agree with that.
Like, I think you have kind of built-in heart when you're in the service academies because you've been through enough just through some of the other stuff you're doing.
Yeah, but how many national championships has that won them?
No, it hasn't. But if you combine it with maybe that's that ingredient with what they have now is the recipe to at least get them past Notre Dame.
I hope you. I mean,
I think
like I said, Army would do it. Army would beat Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I
Army's
agree.
really actually come on with like a crazy passing game on top of all the other stuff, and that's what's messing people up.
Yeah, see, if it was Army, I would totally have taken Army.
Yeah, Navy just scares me because all they can do is run the football, and they haven't played anybody yet that's even tried to even remotely stop that. So
No.
I think they're going to run into a little bit of a headache at Notre Dame. Isn't that at Navy? Isn't that at?
Yeah.
It's at Navy.
Yeah, so there's crowd's not going to be a factor.
No.
So
I would like to see him. I'd love to see the crowd be a factor in the service academy game. That would be amazing.
Army Navy game it will be.
Yeah, well, that would be amazing, man.
Yeah,
And we
I
can do it
really.
twice.
Hopefully they could. I hope this is the one loss that's taken by either team this year until they meet, and then I'd really like to see one of them make the playoffs just to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
And on that note, we change this every week. Who's your two SEC teams? Are we gonna have to? That's gonna make the playoffs.
Texas.
You still think it's
Georgia and
Texas?
Yeah, I mean, I've really started to doubt Texas at this point, and I was on the Texas bandwagon all the way to the final game.
Yeah, I'm Texas. I went from Texas to Missouri to back to, or not back to, but to. I thought it was going to be Texas, Georgia, Missouri. Those three. I've mentioned that a bunch of times. To LSU is really. I know everybody's screaming A&M, but to LSU is really a dangerous football team to me. They are just super dangerous.
Yeah. If you go off who's playing the best right now, it's Georgia LSU.
Yeah.
And
I think-
A&M.
I think if three make it, it's Georgia, LSU, Texas. Like, I really do. I think three people can still make it. But here's the thing, though. If you have a one-loss, two-loss SEC team that makes the SEC championship and they lose,
What do you do?
you're out. Yeah, I mean, you're out at that point if you've got three losses,
Texas has got a hard schedule.
And so
that would bring.
No,
Yeah, and they would have to bring back Ole Miss into the mix too. I don't know.
we don't want that.
They don't play anybody, so Ole Miss has the easy schedule.
No, I don't want to have to hear that anymore. C-Money, you got any thoughts on who you think will make it into the 12-game playoff from the SEC?
I think Georgia definitely will. They don't have anyone too tough coming up. I don't think Texas A&M is out of the mix.
Yeah.
And I think they continue rushing the ball. I mean, I don't doubt their passing game, but it's definitely not their strong point. So if they get into a point where they have to pass the ball, it's not like they can't. They just prefer to run the ball.
Connor, he's right. Connor Wegman is about the fourth or fifth best quarterback in the SEC. He can spin it.
And let's rewind to that weekend when we were talking about him coming back. And it was like and everybody just assumed that was going to be no big deal. And he came back as the dude that Texas A&M said he was.
Yeah, and they have talent. I mean, Jimbo built talent tree for years and years and years and couldn't do anything with it. Kind of like I'm hoping Freeze doesn't do. But
I was going to say, that's going to be our next coach.
No,
Not Jimbo.
no.
Not Jimbo, but the talent's going to be there when he gets there.
well, we are extending Freeze, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't want to talk about those things anymore. They make me sad.
you said on the last one, man, like you really think they're about to extend him?
They're going to extend him. That's not even a rumor anymore. They're in
Dude,
talks.
that makes me sick to my stomach, dude. Prove
But
it
I
on the
think
field before
that-
I extend you.
I think that also locks down the recruits, though.
It locks down the recruits, and remember his buyout is next to nothing. That was one of the agreements he came in with. He doesn't have like a Malzahn or Harson type of buyout.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Charlie?
I don't remember. Speaking of Malzahn, he's losing that program.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that kid this week that wrote the letter?
Yep.
I mean, that's a bad look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And there's still people here at Auburn that want him back, dude. That guy's time was so far over.
Yeah, I know. I think people just go back to like the last thing that was stable and think that was. You know how it's easy to forget the pain in the past. You only remember the positives. I think they just go back to when there was like stability, and they're like, okay, we were stable. We weren't wondering this and wondering that. We were stable, and they're like, that's good for us.
Are we talking relationships? What are we
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're talking about that magical falling in love feeling with the two miracle plays that the prayer Jordan here and the kick six, and you're like, oh, I'm in love with him, but he can't get an offensive lineman if we paid him to.
Yep.
Like he would come back and he still wouldn't. If we brought him back right now, he still wouldn't. With any of money and us pushing him, he still wouldn't get an offensive line.
No, he'd do the same stuff, man. That's who he is.
Or develop a quarterback.
Although he might got more of a thorn than old Hugh has, that's for sure. I don't know what that situation is, to be honest.
I don't know, man.
That's a weird relationship.
Like I said, I thought at Missouri, if we ended up in a struggling moment after the first half that we would switch. And then I think that this weekend, but then deep down, I'm like, no, it won't.
It's not going to happen.
If we start getting blown out by Kentucky, he will leave him in for the whole game.
I think he's there for the season. I think he is. I think the whole thought process is he's going to go get a guy in the offseason, which is going to be an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well,
I don't think he thinks Hank is the. Cause let's be honest. I like Hank. I'm a Hank fan, but Hank was never supposed to be a guy at the SEC level. He coming out of high school, talents level. There's some people that said that he would be NFL, including me. He's an NFL talent, but he's not going to be an SEC talent until at least his 4th or 5th year. So I mean,
so he's more NFL like pocket passer.
Yeah, he's not going to be this offense kind of running guy. I think he's NFL. Like if he, here we go.
Well,
if he was at Alabama, he'd probably go to NFL
because he's the game manager type guy.
Yeah, he's more the game manager, stand back there and throw it. And for the RPO to actually work, you're going to need somebody like a Malik Willis or the old drunk that played for him in Ole Miss. I don't even mention his name anymore. But
oh man, he's had some awesome statements lately.
Yeah.
So I mean, like
him
Thorne,
I
think AJ. But I think he goes out and get a mobile and waits for Walker or Deuce, and we're actually got another 4-star quarterback coming this next weekend. Did you see that?
Yep.
Deuce is a 5-star now.
Yeah, he got up to a 5-star.
Yeah.
Our cornerback too. I can't remember his name. Our cornerback commit, who's dedicated to Auburn, just got bumped up to
he's
a
a
5-star.
Eric Winters.
Yeah, first thing he said was, "War Eagle, I'm a 5-star. I can't wait to get there," and because he knows he's starting right away. You know, we need him like we need air.
Yep.
But maybe he'll wrap up and replace Keontae.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that Liberty lost last night at Kennesaw State?
Yep.
Yes.
To a defeated team. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah, and then because all the tweets that were coming out earlier this year was like, look at what Hugh Freeze's ex-players are doing, and then they just got beat by.
That's exactly what I thought when I saw that too.
Yeah. I still think the story. When we make all these jokes, but I still think this 2 stories of the year are freaking Indiana. I love their coach, and Iowa State. Those 2 teams right there are just blowing my mind.
Yeah.
I think they beat all but the top 2 or 3 of the SEC.
Oof.
Money. Who's your team?
Texas A&M. He's been saying.
A&M.
There you go. You could tell from the way he was talking, he just loves A&M this year. There's nothing wrong with that.
Who's another sleeper out there, Money?
I think Texas and Ole Miss are definitely out. Bama's definitely out.
I like the way you think.
Yeah, I'm your best friend over here. Doesn't have to be SEC, man. You can pick anybody.
Yeah, just a sleeper team is good, man. You think Army makes the playoffs?
Yes.
I like that.
I think they beat Navy both times they match up. I think if they can shut down their running game, I mean, their defense has been good all year. So
What do you think
Yeah.
about the Miami Clemson?
I think Cam Ward is the best quarterback in football.
Really?
Hmm
You think they beat Clemson the way Clemson's been playing since Georgia spanked them?
I don't think it'll be a very high scoring game, but it'll be close. I mean, 24-17.
That all depends on who the refs want to win.
Yeah. Well, that's all every game nowadays.
I mean, we were watching the game this past week in the Miami game when Cam Ward was on a dead sprint to the left and then just whipped it right down the sideline. Like on a dot. It's crazy. I wouldn't bet against that guy ever.
I don't know. Clemson can score, man. Since Georgia put it on them, they have just woke up and been beast. So I don't
Yes.
know. That's more interesting than the SEC to me right now. Is the Miami Clemson eventually gonna?
You don't think Florida State's gonna beat them this weekend?
Man, you never know.
If-
Cam
if-
Ward's gonna throw all over them kids, man.
Yeah,
Man.
that team is not a team anymore. That team stopped. I don't even know why they're playing.
I mean, we need to start looking at we need to start cherry picking some of their NIL people. They're about to empty out. There's no way. Like the
I
way
don't want
Norville.
I don't want any of them.
I mean, there may be one somewhere.
I'd take a few of it.
I'm just saying they bought that team, and that team is going to be a 1-year team, and they're going to go in 22 different directions.
You can't tell me that one of their offensive linemen wouldn't start for us.
Next year, let's see.
Let's be honest.
I mean, they're not. We would beat them easily. I feel it. Like,
I feel that too. I'm just saying, like, but we've got some holes in our team.
I take their left guard next year. Next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, not right now.
They've had better
Can't get them right now.
protection for DJ than we have for Thorne several times.
Yeah.
Several games. That's saying a lot.
I mean, Auburn is not a bad football team. Auburn's just had. Good Lord, I hate making excuses, but they've had some atrocious luck.
They have.
It's just been.
Dude,
I mean,
it's just been bad.
I know. Other than the Georgia game, man, we literally had a chance to win every football game. That's the reason I think it just finally breaks at Kentucky. Kentucky's on our level, which is sad. Kentucky's looking past us at Tennessee.
Well, you know what? And then, go ahead. And then I'll say.
I saw they did a thing online the other day. It was like the what if top 25, and it was if every team in their game if there's a 1-score game or an overtime game, and you flip the outcome of the game, we're 6-1.
Yeah.
I mean that's how close it is.
I was listening today to a few things, and Kentucky fans, I guess they're accustomed to winning more and are growing disenfranchised over there, and they're talking about getting rid of him.
There's lots of rumbling.
Yeah, they played up this year. It seemed like they're doing pretty good. And now even though they're able to look past us to Tennessee, they're talking about wanting some results or get out.
They only got one more win than we do, and that's just a the Ole Miss win. Yeah.
So,
There was their main radio guy, Matt Jones, at the beginning of the season at some banquet, laid out the schedule and said that he thought that they could be 6-0 going into this game or whatever the record is, and have a chance for a playoff.
Yeah, but how many the idiots like me were saying the same thing on the radio and on podcast this summer, different things, saying that Auburn was going to be 5-0 going into Georgia.
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying, I'm not firing a coach. That's where they're getting they all had their expectations, and I feel like every year with them but I don't think you're going to get a better coach than him.
No, you're not. Nobody's going to go there that's better.
Right.
So I didn't realize until today that this is what I heard, and it was from a pretty reputable show that he had accepted the TAMU job at one point before they back. Yeah, but I never. It wasn't officially reported, but today he was like, it wasn't officially reported, but until they backed off of him, that Kentucky knows he officially was out. And I never realized he was out.
Yeah, there's been a lot of interest in him because he can maintain somewhat of they've taken in Kentucky to some bowl games. That's like Clark Leah wins a couple more bowl games, somebody's going to snatch him,
Yeah.
That's just he's at a program that is not that's a college school. I mean, excuse me, college school. That's a basketball school. That's not a football school, so they've got the best they're going to get, and there's a lot of people that would love to have him. Are you telling me you wouldn't take Stoops at Auburn?
I don't think I would.
I would. I would in a heartbeat. If he can do what he did at Kentucky, he can definitely do some damage
How
here.
old is he?
Win one more game than we have this year?
I take it, wouldn't you? He'd have better athletes. We have 10 times better athletes than Kentucky has.
Doesn't mean that. No.
Can't coach him, no.
I'd spend that money elsewhere, man. It's just me.
Oh no, I take. There's about 10 coaches that I'm still riding with Breeze. I feel like he'll get it figured out.
I got faith in him.
I won't
I
say
do
I
too.
have.
man.
It's a rough ride. Hey, if it weren't for how rough would this season be if Alabama wouldn't have been faltering too? Oof.
I think they're a bigger dumpster fire than we are.
I do.
Well, I swear
I
they're
agree
going
with
to
you,
get
man.
into a fight with each other, even on the field. You can start to see the frustrations on each other when they start missing plays. I mean, they're at each other.
That LSU game, that game is going to implode. The team will
Oh,
implode.
yeah, absolutely.
I hope Roll Tide Willie's there on the sidelines too, just to stir the pot.
Alrighty, well, I'm going to close it out with this, and then we'll do a review show. See Money, thanks for hanging with us.
See, Money, it was
C-Money.
real, man. I think you
Good
did some
job.
good. You had some good intel today, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right,
the
man.
knowledge.
So we will. I'm gonna tweet out those picks, and then come up with some other clever stuff to go along with that, and then we'll catch up on the review that we do on
Sunday.
Do I work on Sunday?
Mm,
figure
Just
out.
worked on Sunday. That's why we didn't do it this week.
Facts. You're on it. All right.
So
So we'll do the
Sunday,
review. Yep.
Sunday,
Do it on
Sunday,
Sunday.
and this week is Sunday and Wednesday.
Yep.
awesome.
All
You guys have a
right.
great night, man.
You
You
too,
too, man.
man.
Between two barns, Week 9 Picks Edition. We'll use our patented PickAWinner board. We'll foretell the ups and downs of the weekend ahead. These are the picks you can confidently never always count on. Charlie, Shark, Barner, and Rizzle. Watch us or flip a coin. One should be more fun.
Cool.